Welcome everyone to Brian's Action Figure Reviews, and today I've got a very special guest. My guest is the owner and creator of Creative Comics and Collectibles, Drackstin Zaccone from the USA, and he is heading up a new Kickstarter for a new Vikings versus Barbarians line. And I'm going to let him explain to you how the Kickstarter is going to go right now. Enjoy the interview, guys. Welcome back everyone to Brian's Action Figure Reviews. And today I've got a very special guest. I've got the man behind Creative Comics and Cocktails, or Creative Comics and Collectibles, on with me. Oh, some mess up somewhere. So, hi, how are you? Thanks for coming on the show. I believe you have a little Kickstarter you want to talk to us today about.
Oh yes I do. My name's Drackstin, and I created Creative Comics and Collectibles a few years ago because I wanted to, make some awesome toys for the people that, collect everything. And there's a lot of area where, there's certain toys that just aren't made. So I was working on some stuff with my friends, and I decided to, create the Kickstarter that's going on, which is Vikings versus Barbarians right now. And I'm just trying to get, these cool figures out there and show everyone what I could do, and, just produce as much as possible for all the people that, love action figures. I could see you have a ton of stuff, and it's all on display, and that, I love seeing that, and I just would love to have some of the stuff that I make on display like that.
Awesome. Okay, so just a few quick questions. Could you tell us a little bit about some maybe of your previous experience in action figures and stuff?
Well, I started, I went to school as a mechanical and electronical engineer, and I specialize in 3D work. And always on my spare time, what I'd be doing is, taking characters and weapons and stuff like that from video games and creating it in 3D and remaking it for like 3D printers and stuff like that. I own a few 3D printers myself, and it's just like I said, there's so many things that are out there that aren't action figures, and I love having those things that no one has, or certain characters in my collection. So I was always making stuff like that.
Okay, awesome. Okay, so tell us a little bit about your about the inspiration for these particular action figures.
Well, I love the genre. I always go to the medieval fairs and stuff like that and dress up. In one of my last live videos, I was dressed up. I had an axe with me and my armor on and stuff like that. I love the medieval and fantasy world. And there's so many video games and movies and things like that that are out that you don't really have in the action figure world. You always get the comic the comic book characters and the really famous people made over and over again. But there's all kinds of genres and stuff that are made, only a few people even try to make it. So I wanted to try to do something like that, and that's why I decided to have these, because the Viking and Barbarian, and like in that area, there's even the armor, the details, the facial expressions, the weapons, they all have so much personality, and I wanted to, bring something like that to life.
Awesome. Okay, so just a little few questions on the Kickstarter itself. As I'm in Ireland and we're in the UK and all that, we're not part of the UK, but we're next to the UK. What will be the availability overseas for collectors over here?
We're going to have open availability for everywhere. I'm not stopping shipping. So if anyone orders it from over there, you're getting it. We're going to send it right out. Shipping's going to be a little more because of where it's coming from, but I'm not stopping it. If someone wants it, they're going to get it. So I'm going to make sure that everyone gets it no matter where they are.
That's what I like to hear. So if you get through this, is there future plans for the line afterwards?
Oh, I always want to add more to the line itself. Right now, today, what I did, I announced the female characters. I showed a sample of the concept art for one of the female characters. I announced blood splatter variants, which are a Kickstarter exclusive. But someone just commented on one of my posts, and they were asking, like these guys, they're muscular, but they're tiny. They're thin guys, they're fast looking guys. And I was like, well, I definitely want to add to it. I was making just a simpler character now, but I'd love to make, a big brawly guy, different body styles, things like that, even kind of different characters. And in one of my previous live feeds, I think I was talking about like knights and things like that. So there's a whole world to explore with it, and I'd love to just keep on adding and adding and adding. So.
Because I was talking to one of my friends about your line, and he said they got to make a big fat Viking.
Yeah, I definitely do want to make a big fat Viking. I want to make some brawly guys. And I was tossing around the idea of making some kind of like zombies, or not so much zombies, but undead, or like ice golems or things like that. There's so much in the medieval fantasy that you could add to it, and there's just two figures isn't enough. So if I could get there, I'll add whatever I can.
Question everyone will find important is, how well do you think it's going to scale with other lines, more popular lines such as Legends and Star Wars?
Well, I made sure that I made it a 6-inch line, so it matches exactly with Marvel Legends. I've showed it in a few of my live feeds, standing next to each other. I always have a Marvel Legends on hand, and they're perfectly scaled with Marvel Legends or any 6-inch action figure. I definitely want to add some more. So, like I said, if I make a bigger, stronger guy, he's going to be 7, 8, inches, stuff like that. And some of the females might be smaller. I might have some smaller guys, things like that. But they look great. I've had them next to Marvel Legends, and you can't tell the difference in size, so it's good.
Excellent. So how has the reception to the Kickstarter been so far for you?
It's been good. I've been reaching out to as many people all over the place. I got a bunch of backers this weekend, which I was really happy about. And it's just it's weird. I've been having to learn a lot about advertising, which I didn't think I'd have to do. And there's all these little quirks and things like that with, Kickstarter, with Facebook, with Instagram. All of them have their own things that they try to cut you off on. So you got to find ways around them. And like I said, I just want to try to reach as many people as possible. I want to show these things off. And there's all these little things that I'm finding out. But I'm really happy with how it's going. We're already at 37%. We're only 5 days in. So I think we're definitely going to meet our mark. So
excellent. That's great to hear. Also, the packaging. Have you an idea what that's going to be like?
Well, right now we're throwing some stuff around. I think right now we're just doing for the basic characters, we're doing J-card, which and I think it's going to be a resealable plastic slide, but with the blood splatter variant, I think we're going to go with a deluxe box. So we're going to do like a really nice box. And I know myself, I love the action figures that come in the box, and it looks really fancy and everything like that. So I'm really pushing for that. Depending on how far we go in the Kickstarter, I might switch them all over to the box.
Cool. So with the characters you spoke to, is there a tie-in story with them as well?
Well, right now I'm actually working with a comic book company called Arctic Viking Press. They've made comics for quite a while now, and the artwork that we have on the Kickstarter is actually from one of their artists, and that's going to be the box art. And they're also working on a comic book right now, so there's going to be a whole storyline and things like that. And the reason why is because when you buy an action figure, you like to, know who the character is, get involved, and that makes you like the character even more. So I really wanted to try to get that out, because a comic book will make you like the character, will make you like the figure more.
And make you want to buy more of the characters.
Yeah, exactly.
So I'm going to do a few questions that I ask everyone on this show. So what is your favorite comic character?
Okay, so my favorite comic character is DC's Lobo.
Oh,
Um,
nice. Great choice.
yeah, and now I started the way that this all came around is I started cosplaying probably in about 2014, and I went to a lot of conventions actually as Lobo. I went to San Diego Comic Con. I went all over the place. I actually got the artist of Lobo. I took a bunch of pictures with him. I have all kinds of stuff signed, and I just love the character, and I love bringing him to life. And that's the thing with like action figures. You get an action figure because it brings them to life. It,
Yeah, of
it brings
course.
him into your house. You could have that character. And at the moment, I'm actually customizing some action figures of Lobo, making my own because he doesn't get a lot of love in the action figure world.
Oh.
No.
Okay, so last question. Your favorite franchise? It can be movies, comics, or whatever.
Okay, so my very first comic was actually the anniversary edition of Iron Man, where they show off all his suits, and he has like 50 different suits in it. So that was one of my favorite things. And as I was growing up, that's what kind of why I became a mechanical engineer because I want to build kind of stuff
You
like
wanted to
that.
be Tony Stark.
Exactly. So he's one of my favorite characters. Iron Man's one of my favorite characters just because of the tech that he has and the robotic engineering and things like that. I love Marvel just because they're always on track. They always know what they're doing, and they have a lot of really interesting characters. Now I like DC too, but sometimes there's something about having a Superman that can do whatever he wants whenever he wants and doesn't care about anything. That just doesn't help me out. You know what I mean? So
It's not relatable.
yeah, that's the thing. A lot of Marvel characters are very relatable. You have Spider-Man, who is a kid going to college who has all these problems. He has superpowers, but it doesn't do anything for him in college. And it's cool stuff like that when you could relate to a guy, where Batman is just, I have lots of money and my parents died. And I was like, okay, I could understand that, but there's
Yeah,
a thing about the kid who's poor and going to college, but he has to run around at night saving people.
yeah, I totally agree. What I usually ask as the last question is what would be your dream action figure line? But you're making your dream action figure line at the moment, so
Exactly. Yeah, that's the thing. So any character that I could think of, I've actually talked with a bunch of companies about licensing and stuff like that, and I'm trying to get involved with some of these smaller comic book companies because there's so many characters that are out there that just don't get any love. And as you can see, if you go on my Facebook, we have the old Golden Age Blue Beetle on there, and then we have Cassie from Hackslash, which is are just some amazing characters, and I'd love to like build onto them and add more. Plus, my own custom action figures, the custom characters and stuff, because when you could build a world around whatever you want, that's the best thing. So I would love it.
so I can just give you the floor now to plug your Kickstarter. Tell us where you can find yourself, and yeah, go on with it.
All right. Well, I'm on Facebook at Creative Comics and Collectibles. There's links there to my Kickstarter, which is on also Creative Comics and Collectibles, and our Kickstarter is Viking versus Barbarian action figures. And right now, you could find us on Instagram, also Creative Comics and Collectibles. I'm posting almost every day. I'm making videos as much as possible, posting updates. And just the more people who see it, the more people who follow, the more people who like it, the faster I get out there. And that way I could bring the action figures to life for everyone who wants them.
Excellent stuff. So thanks for giving us some spare time to do this interview with us anyway. And I will have this up for you tomorrow, and I will share it wherever I can. And
Okay, that's great.
thanks again for coming on. So
Oh
yeah,
yeah, it's no problem. If you have any other questions, you wanna do anything else, just let me know. I'm like I said, I'm just excited about getting these out there, having people see them, and they're awesome to me, and I want everyone to get to experience them like I do.
okay, excellent. Thanks very
Yep.
much, man. We'll see you soon.
All right, thank you, man. Bye.
All right. So guys, that was my interview with Creative Comics and Collectibles owner Drackstin Zaccone. Check the links in the description below. Get onto his Kickstarter to support these guys. Even if if you don't have enough to get the figures, drop him a few quid to help the Kickstarter along the way. He's a really nice guy, having chatted to him just now. And these figures look absolutely class. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed the interview. And it's great to have people like that come on the show. So hopefully we'll have more, and I hopefully will get these figures in my hands someday soon and be able to review them for you. And yeah, so hope to see you later, guys. Bye.